Simultaneous perception and creation. Question: are our senses of perception projectors or receivers? Answer: your senses are actually both projectors and receivers, but they are projectors first. You project your sensory expectation out into your reality, and then you receive the perception of that expectation within that reality. Please remember that your state of consciousness determines what you will perceive. Thus, no matter what expectation you project, if you are in a third-dimensional state of consciousness, you will only perceive the third-dimensional expression of that expectation. However, your projection leaves an imprint on your etheric aura. Once this expectation is imprinted into your aura, it is influenced by your personal history. The imprint. This imprint then moves up into frequency to interface between your aura and the fourth-dimensional matrix. As your expectation moves from the etheric plane into your fourth-dimensional astral plane, the imprint of your expectation is affected by all of your past, future, parallel, and alternate lives. This imprint is further altered as it moves into your fourth-dimensional emotional body, to be influenced by all the emotions of your past. This imprint then moves into your fourth-dimensional mental body, in which all the thoughts of your past, future, parallel, and alternate lives influence the imprint. When the imprint of your original expectation resonates to the frequency of your upper fourth-dimensional spiritual body, it barely resembles your original desire. If you are in communication with your I Am presence at the threshold to fifth dimension, you will be able to halt the imprint of this expected perception, as you will realize that your expectation has been invaded by the virus of your past. On the other hand, if this expectation is of a desire in which you have had great success in your current and or past future lives, it will likely move through the fourth dimension with more clarity rather than distortion. It is for this reason that you can easily perceive or create that which has historically, in this life and in other lives, been successful. Your unconscious memory of success protects your original projected expectation with the power of your belief that you deserve to be successful. Hopefully, the projection expectations that went awry in your fourth-dimensional history of failure and fear do not take form in the physical. Fortunately, if you can maintain a higher state of consciousness, you can gain a detachment from the dramas of 3D life and realize that you will need to change your approach toward manifestation. So what is one to do? How can you avoid your long third and fourth dimensional history of failure to expect and receive successful manifestations in your life? Well, the answer is quite simple. The feel of dimensions. You must learn to differentiate between the feeling of the third, the feeling of the fourth, and the feeling of the fifth dimension. We say feeling as opposed to perception because fifth-dimensional perceptions are felt with your entire light body. 3D perceptions. On the other hand, your third dimension feels like you are limited to third-dimensional boundaries of separation between persons, places, situations, and things. To rise above this feeling of limitation, you must release your attachment to third-dimensional belief that you can only perceive that which resonates to a small range of frequencies on the electromagnetic spectrum. 4D perceptions. When your fourth-dimensional perceptions come online to your waking life, they are similar to your dream images. They still appear somewhat separate, but they are of mutual shape that waft in and out of your perceivable timeline. Thus, the density and boundaries of third-dimensional perceptions are quite different from the mutable and flittering perceptions of the fourth dimension. In the third dimension, you feel a perception by touching it, talking to it, hearing it, or interacting with it in your physical timeline. In the fourth dimension, your perceptions are clear, yet mutable, as you are usually dreaming or in meditation. You may also have a fourth-dimensional perception of sight, hearing, or touch that blinks in and out of your physical life. 5D perception. Fifth-dimensional perceptions are only perceivable when you are meditating or holding a fifth-dimensional state of consciousness, which is usually delta wave consciousness. While in delta wave consciousness, you usually have your physical eyes closed and your intention placed primarily on your inner world. However, with practice, you can remember the feel of unconditional love and unity with all life that wafts into and through your higher consciousness. Then you can open your eyes while communing with this frequency of your multidimensional self. Differentiation of feel. Third-dimensional consciousness reminds you to be alert to all fearful stimuli so that you can protect your physical form. Perceptions from your fourth-dimensional consciousness will not harm your physical form, but they can give you warning to protect yourself. Therefore, both third and fourth-dimensional consciousness can have varying degrees of the feeling of fear or warning. On the other hand, the fifth dimension resonates to a frequency beyond harm and hence beyond fear. Instead, fifth-dimensional consciousness feels joyful, blissful, and filled with unconditional love. These three sensations are seldom felt in the third or fourth dimension, so you can use them to identify that you are within a fifth-dimensional or beyond state of consciousness. Once you can identify your third and fourth dimensional history, you can learn from the failures and or traumas of your past and raise your consciousness into the now of the fifth dimension. In this manner, you can bypass your third and fourth dimensional history to attach to the virgin expectations of a timeless fifth dimension. Understand it, that there's no time there can be no history. Even though your lower dimensional history is an obstacle to your return home to the fifth dimension, it was the collection of a history that was one of your primary reasons for your first incarnation in the lower worlds. We can say first incarnation because incarnations in a time-bound reality can be counted in a sequential numerical manner. You, of course, knew this before you entered your first incarnation, but never having experienced time, you had no idea of the consequence of having a history. In your timeless state, you were forever new. Thus, you did not have your myriad experiences in time-bound timelines in which every reality was separate from the others. In the fifth dimension, you experience myriad realities within the now. All of these realities are connected and intermingled in the one of your flow of consciousness. You are not a person or a place or even a thing. You are pure consciousness. Form exists in the higher worlds, but only as a created package for your light energy field. Being pure consciousness. As a being of pure consciousness, your sense of self is not the form you are wearing. Your self is the energy field that animates that form. As the energy field of your consciousness adds and subtracts unique forms to your here and now, your consciousness expands and contracts depending on your choice of inflow and outflow, which easily occurs in the same now. However, inflow and outflow are not separate in the fifth dimension and beyond. Instead, they are undulations of your consciousness, energy field, and self. Of course, self is not an individual term in the higher world. In the same manner as grass, air, water, fire are not individual terms, your self is not an individual term. Grass is not a tiny blade of grass, nor is fire a small spark, or air and water just one molecule or atom. In the higher worlds, a being is a multiple term. Your self in the fifth dimension and beyond creates and is simultaneously created by the myriad dimensional experiences to which your energy field is attached and or calibrated. Hence, the sense perception of your fifth dimensional self are projections of your energy field intermingling with the realities that you are expecting to perceive. This expectation flows in unity with the fifth dimensional's perceptual field that your expectation instantly creates. Hence, expectation of a perception creates the very perception that is expected. An infinite circle. Higher dimensional realities flow in an infinite circle that never begins and never ends. Perception in these realities is a knowing that which you desire to perceive instantly flows into your awareness. Every perception already is, for there is no beginning and no ending in an infinite reality. Think of yourself walking through a huge store in which everything you could ever want is available for your instant purchase. However, in this store, everything is stored not on aisles or shelves with different forms of identification. Everything in this store is pure potential, stored as possibilities. You do not need to walk up and down the aisles of this store or ask an attendant where you must go to find a certain thing. Everything is everywhere in a formless state of pure potential, patiently awaiting an expectation to call this potential into manifestation. Therefore, you do not perceive anything in this store before you expect or desire it. then your expectation or desire instantly calls this possibility into manifestation within your energy field or being. Unconditional love is the bonding force of the multiverse. Hence, your unconditional love for this manifestation bonds it to your energy field. Once you release your bond of unconditional love for this manifestation, it returns to the formless potential that flows within the infinite one of the now. Since there is no time in this now, there is no space, as there is only here. Be here now. Even in the third dimension, it does not take time to be here now. It is for this reason that we of the higher dimensions of reality can instantly be within your consciousness in the now that you expect to perceive us. Also, since there is no space, we are not separated from you in any manner. We, your higher expression of self, are infinitely here now. However, if you do not expect to perceive us, your energy field will not resonate to the frequency in which you can perceive us. You see, your expectations also calibrate the frequency of your primary state of consciousness. If you expect to commune with your higher expressions, your consciousness expands into the fifth dimension because of your belief. If you do not believe you can commune with the higher worlds, you will not expect that communication to occur. In the same manner, if you believe that you can perceive the higher frequencies of light or life, as light and life are synonymous at that frequency, your consciousness will remain calibrated to that frequency of reality for as long as you are free of all doubt or judgment. Once you feel any doubt or judgment, which are both created by fear, your consciousness lowers into the third or fourth dimension. Unconditional love. It is important to remember that you cannot perceive the fifth dimension and beyond while in a lower state of consciousness, because your sensory perceptors are not calibrated to that frequency. Fortunately, unconditional love for yourself will expand your consciousness into the fifth dimension and beyond. While in this expanded state of consciousness, you can choose to simultaneously use your fifth dimensional consciousness to perceive the higher worlds and your third, fourth dimensional consciousness to ground those perceptions into your third, fourth dimensional form, as well as into Gaia's planetary form of Earth. This task takes practice and strong connection to the unconditional love of the higher frequencies. However, once you regain your multidimensional perceptions, you become a portal opener. As a portal opener, you continue to wear your earth vessel while you simultaneously ground your fifth dimensional perceptions into the body of Gaia. In this manner, your fifth dimensional perceptions become third dimensional creations. Your expectations of fifth dimensional perceptions activate your multidimensional consciousness. Hence, you can perceive the higher worlds as they intermingle with the 3D matrix. This intermingling of the fifth dimensional frequency with the third dimensional matrix destabilizes the 3D matrix and allows the higher light to bleed through into your physical reality. In fact, this bleed-through of higher light is occurring within you now and is a huge component of planetary ascension. We will go into detail on the subject at a later date in your 3D time. However, you can always expand your consciousness into the fifth dimension and ask us yourself. In closing, we ask you to be patient with yourself, as you have been trained to believe that you are only physical. Therefore, remember that unconditional love for yourself expands your consciousness and attaches you to the higher worlds of your multidimensional self, who is eagerly awaiting your communication. All you need do is believe in yourself, and so it is.